I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about he said he thinks about me all the time. You know, when we're in no contact, it really feels like that person doesn't think about us. They don't look at our social media, that they're kind of done. And that is really scary and overwhelming when you're going through it. I know that feeling of, do they even think about me? Have they forgotten about me completely? They said they don't want to be with me anymore. But I hear exes all the time say, I thought about you all the time. I was thinking about you every day. In fact, I did a coaching with somebody this morning whose ex was vomiting all their feelings. I hadn't talked in several months. And then she was vomiting everything, telling him everything he wanted to hear. So it's great that your ex is thinking about you. And we do, of course, want to hear that. It feels so good to know they still think about us and care about us. But we also have to look for more than that. We need them to show us that they're going to be respectful and caring and thoughtful, because some exes are really selfish. Some exes have personality disorders, which would cause them to do a lot of really cruel, selfish, self-absorbed things. So, you know, we always want you to be in a healthy situation. We want you to treat your partners with respect. We want them to treat you with respect. And we want you to be in loving, healthy relationships. But some of you are not. Some of you are stuck in situationships or with people that are cruel and discard you or take advantage and use you. You have to sort those three things out. When you work on personal growth, when you do the workbooks and the creative healing course and you watch all of the videos, you start to get a clearer picture of what is healthy and what is not. So today, I've got an email coaching from a woman whose ex is telling her all the things we like to hear, but is he going to show her or do what he needs to do to really fix the situation? So let's get into this email coaching. This is from a woman in her early 30s dating a guy in his mid-30s, and they were together for a year. However, she says he's in the middle of a divorce. Okay, so this is huge, okay? If somebody is going through a divorce, it is a major hurdle. People that are going through a divorce are emotionally on this roller coaster. They don't know where they're at. They don't know what they're doing. They tend to latch on to somebody because it's scary to be alone through that process. But a lot of times, after the divorce is finalized and they've been with you for a while, they wind up leaving you because they need to be single. So you always want to be careful with somebody that is going through something like that, because they're generally in a very bad place. This is why we tell you why you got to do the work, because when you really do the work on yourself, this kind of becomes natural and instinctual, where you realize, oh, this person isn't in a good place. I might be attracted to them, but if they're not mentally in a good, stable place, they're going to be a disaster and wind up breaking my heart, which is often what happens when you date a divorced person or someone just going through it. During his marriage, we were seeing each other for 3 years. Okay. So I wasn't quite sure if maybe him and the wife were done and they were technically still married. I didn't get the details on that. So I'm kind of considering that's a possibility when I was doing this email coaching. But it feels like this guy was having an affair for 3 years. So we don't know. It could be somewhere in between. Either he was flat out having an affair, or maybe him and the wife were kind of done and she didn't care what he was doing. So we want to consider all of those components as guiding through. It would have been helpful to know a little bit more specifics on that. In the summer, we were drinking, and according to him, a guy grabbed my buttocks, and I did nothing, nor told the guy anything. I don't recall this. Okay, as you're going to watch this story unfold, you're going to see how and why I think this point is important, okay? Let's think about this for a sec, though. According to this guy, the ex, a guy grabbed her butt, and she didn't do anything about it. She didn't confront the guy. Let's say that they work in law enforcement and keep it vague. This woman knows how to handle herself, okay? She's also saying she doesn't recall this happening. Now, she was drinking at the time, but if a guy did in fact grab her butt and she didn't do anything about it, is that really something you're going to get that upset about? How upset would you be if somebody did that? Assuming she didn't do anything flirtatious or, that may have led that other guy on. Now, in this case, she's saying she doesn't even remember the incident, so I suspect he's making it up, or because remember, he's been drinking too, but you're going to see why as this unfolds. He left me. 3 days later, we got back together. He said he left me because it hurt that I allowed that to happen, and he wondered what else I would do if he wasn't around. Okay. I'm going to get pretty passionate in this video, because this is pretty infuriating. If this guy has been having an affair on his wife for 3 years, he has got some audacity to say that, or imply that she's not trustworthy because allegedly some guy grabbed her butt that she doesn't even remember while they were drinking. Imagine that. This man, who it sounds like is having a 3-year affair on his wife, is accusing someone who didn't do anything wrong, even if a guy did grab her butt or whatever. Doesn't mean she did anything wrong in that situation, and then saying she's untrustworthy. Imagine being in her shoes. How furious would you be? He says, which made him have trust issues. Okay. We'll come back to this. In the fall, he saw me deleting text messages. He claimed he couldn't trust me, which is the foundation of a relationship. The messages were innocent, but I get why he was mad. Okay, if you saw somebody deleting text messages, you would find it suspicious, so I don't know why she did it. But we're going to take her at her word, because why would she lie when she's trying to get my help? Don't lie if you're trying to get my help. Some of you guys try to leave facts out when I'm doing a Skype coaching, and I have to call you out, because if I don't get the facts, I can't really help you on what's going on. I need all those pieces. He wanted a clean cut and didn't want to talk anymore other than work. Now remember, this is in the fall. Now they kind of work together, but not at the same place. Let's say they work for the same company. He mentioned he could see us having a great life together and loved so much about me, but was afraid it would crumble. So you guys hear me say this all the time. The very thing we're afraid of, we often cause to happen. Okay? And one of my favorite examples is in Star Wars. Okay? Anakin is afraid of losing Padme because his mom died, and so now he wants to be able to save Padme, and ultimately, what does he cause to happen? Her own demise. Okay? I know it's fictitious, but it's a great example because we all know that story. And if you don't know that story, go watch a different channel. Kidding. You'll learn it by watching us. After a few days, he went back to the no talking and ignoring me. We have been doing this back and forth for a few months. In late fall, he told me that his ex got kicked out of her house and she and his kids had nowhere to go, so they were staying with him. This feels awfully suspicious, doesn't it? Right around the time he accuses her of doing something which didn't seem like she did anything to me, doing something wrong right around the time his ex, or supposedly ex, I mean, they're still married. I don't know why she said it was his ex. His wife got kicked out of her house, and the kids had nowhere to stay. Now, I don't know if she was, I guess she wasn't living with him at the time, because she goes to stay with him. But this is really suspicious. Like, couldn't he have helped her financially? Why having her move in? I suppose if there was transparency there and he was really explaining to her what was going on, that would be good. I don't know. I don't have that detail here. He says they are still getting a divorce and he isn't trying to get back with her. I truly believe him. I truly do not believe him, okay? And I could have believed him if I didn't like the gaslighting that he did. The reasons that he's ending this is because supposedly she might be doing something wrong, or might do something wrong behind his back when she didn't do anything wrong. So that felt very like he was gaslighting, and so that's a big reason as to why I don't believe him now. But you're going to see some bad behavior here too. The cycle continued, so I told him I was going to leave him alone and give him his space. I told him I cared for him deeply and was going to wait until he was ready. The next day, he asked if I thought his daughter would like this dollhouse for Christmas. I replied, but thought, why is he asking me? So, there we have an indirect, direct approach. This man is living with his wife. He could simply ask the mother of his daughter if she would like this dollhouse. The mom is certainly going to have a much better idea than she would, right? I would assume. What mom would not have an idea of what would make their child happy? They'd have to be pretty disconnected. So it's an indirect direct. He's looking for an excuse to contact her. How do you know? Watch. An hour later, he asked about work. Another excuse. We started talking again, and he went back into that cycle. He would say I wasn't his, and he felt like things were getting brushed under the rug. I don't know what is going on. That sentence felt kind of out of place and bizarre, but him saying that he didn't feel like she was his, allegedly because some guy grabbed her butt, that doesn't make any sense. If he really believes that, I really got to question his mental health and his attachment issues, which I've already been questioning. He apologized for coming over and having sex with me and said he shouldn't have because it makes things confusing. Oh, sure. He apologizes after he gets what he wants. Oh, that was great. So thoughtful of him. He knew what he was doing. This is what I'm talking about, this guy's behavior. I don't like it. He said he thinks about me nonstop and sometimes can't sleep. Great. I'm glad you can't sleep. And I'm going to let you have a lot more sleepless nights. And I'm certainly not going to let you come over and just get what you want when you're not treating me well. And you're not showing me that you respect me or care about my feelings, right? I mean, if you're not looking for a long-term relationship and it's a hookup, that's one thing. But if you're looking for something meaningful and substantial, you want to have somebody's actions and words line up. He says he sees my texts and calls and wants to answer, but he ignores me. Oh, he wants to so bad, but he can't. Why is that? Because your wife is looking over your shoulder? Makes you wonder. Because your kids are around? Maybe they're using his phone. I don't know. But I certainly don't like it. There's no reason to ignore. He started coming over again. I wonder why. He started coming over. He started taking me out on fun dates. He started showing me that he cared about me. He was investing me. He was taking me publicly out to do fun things. No. He started coming over late at night. I wonder what he wanted. Again, if you want to just casually hook up, there's nothing wrong with that. But when feelings are involved and you're looking for a commitment, then all of these things, they come into play. One day, he said he hated seeing me. Oh, I hate you so much. Can I come over tonight? He hated seeing me because it made it hard for him to get over me. This guy's all over the place. It made it hard for him to get over her. He's the one that is saying he doesn't want to be with her. Because why? Because some guy grabbed her butt, maybe, while they were drinking one night, allegedly. Could you imagine? Think about it from your perspective. Would you ever leave somebody because when you were out drinking one night, you thought somebody grabbed your partner's butt, and then when they say, I don't know what you're talking about, I don't recall that happening, you say, that's it, I can't trust you, I can't be with you anymore. That's about you if you think that, okay? Trust has to go deeper than that. He apologized for how messy things were. He's the one that made this mess, mind you. Not having a routine with his kids. His ex staying there and us hanging out. Well, yeah, but he's put himself in this position. He planned to come over to open his gifts for Christmas. I asked when I could spend the night with him. He told me in about a week and a half when he didn't have his kids and his wife was gone. I suppose. I mean, maybe she is really leaving. Could be true. I mean, we don't really know. I guess we'll have to see if his actions and his words line up or these things come to pass. He later asked to postpone until after Christmas to open the gifts. I wonder why. He asked to come over on a Sunday night. I asked him if I could call him later that night. He said yes. Later I called and texted. No answer. Sunday and Monday. I texted him. Nothing. See, what does that look like? It certainly doesn't look good, right? Unless he starts to be real transparent about what's going on in this situation, how are you going to trust him? I stopped texting, not even on Christmas. He never texted on Christmas either. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, you can't ignore all these things, right? He's coming, he's going, he's coming. Sounds like to hook up, but doesn't seem to be much more going on there. He makes her promises, then he reneges. He doesn't even have the decency to reply back. A couple days after Christmas, I texted asking if he was coming over. He never texted back and never showed up. He has completely ghosted me. Why is this happening? Do you have a guess when we will get back together? Okay. This is going to be tough to hear, I think. But why is this happening? First of all, this guy's married. Okay? Many married men lie about what's going on with their wife. Okay? And they will tell you what you want to hear to get what they want. I don't know if that's true in this case, but it certainly doesn't look good, right? After all of the disappearing, empty promises, and basically looks like he's just coming over to hook up at night. Okay, then we have the possibility that this man's been having an affair on the wife the whole time. Now, maybe they are in a dead marriage. Maybe she doesn't care what they do. Maybe that part of their relationship is over and they're just finalizing things. That's entirely possible. We don't know. But if that's not the case, and he is having an affair, he really has some audacity to accuse her of being untrustworthy for something she didn't even do, or quote-unquote didn't handle correctly. I mean, he was there. If he saw another guy touch her butt, maybe he should have said something, okay? In the line of work that he's in, believe me, he can handle himself, okay? So it's not like this guy can't handle himself. So I think it's crazy that he's accusing her of, being untrustworthy, or certainly alluding to it, when I don't think she's done anything wrong, and it certainly looks like he has. It seems like he's projecting all of his faults onto you. It seems like he's the untrustworthy one, and that he's blaming her for being untrustworthy. Again, now we have the ex-wife living there. We don't know what's really happening there. Maybe nothing is going on there, but maybe there's a lot more going on there. Maybe he doesn't know if he wants to finalize this divorce. But even if he does, people that are going through a divorce are all over the place. That's what I was talking about earlier. They are unstable. They're confused. they don't know what they want, and they're scared to be alone. But a lot of times after that fear goes away and you've comforted them for a while, they wind up leaving you to go be single and make up for all that lost time they had before they got married. So there are some things here that we don't have important details to that could have given us some more insight into what may or may not have been going on with his wife, because that makes a big difference, and how trustworthy he is. But the bottom line is, look at the way he's treating her. Even if we just look at his behavior towards her, he is not even texting her on Christmas. He's telling her he's going to see her. Then he doesn't even reply to her. I mean, that's not how you treat somebody that you care about, especially at Christmas. It's not that hard to send somebody a thoughtful or sincere, transparent text message, right? But it seems to me like he's putting all this blame on her as a power tactic so he can gain control of the situation and not have to be with her when he's not sure what he wants. You got to be careful. You got to think about what you're looking for and what you want. And you got to think about, is he going to line up with those things? You got to start to ask yourself a lot of questions here. And it seems like you're so stuck in your anxiety that you're not in that place. I would take a look at the Creative Healing course or the workbooks. There are literally thousands of questions in there, poignant questions that really make you think on the information that we teach. You know, the workbooks alone cover 97 videos. And each of those videos probably has, 10 to 15 questions, depending on the video. But those questions are often getting you to reflect on your relationship. Now, those kind of questions and videos are also in the Creative Healing course, along with art therapy activities and whiteboard videos and short cartoons that show poignant little scenarios with a lot of these things happening here. So it's important for you to really think about where this is going, how it's going to get to a place that you want it to go. Can he meet your needs? Is he able to give you the things that you're looking for? And even if he's not right now, will he be able to do it in the future? But I think you need to see some transparency here. And there were some details here that would make a huge difference in how we are all seeing this scenario. You have to be careful in this situation to make sure that he's in a good place emotionally, that he's transparent, that his actions and his words are lining up. You need more than just, I'm thinking about you all the time. Yeah, it's nice to know, but is it only to hook up? Because if you're looking for something more meaningful, then you need to see it with his words and his actions, and make sure he's open about what's going on in his life and that you can truly trust him. The other thing is that the divorce isn't finalized, and like I said, that could really have somebody not in a great place for a long time. So be careful as this plays out and look to see if his actions start to line up with more of what his words are, okay? A lot going on in this situation. If you'd like to get my help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. You can also get my Creative Healing course and my workbooks only on the website. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.